Okay, so this is the third time that I'm covering general elections. The first time I covered was in 2016. I covered as a volunteer, and I was limited to the 𝗘𝗲𝗵𝗶 constituency. 2020 as well, I covered that one too as a volunteer, the same 𝗘𝗲𝗵 constituency. So my spectrum was just limited to the 𝗘𝗲𝗵 constituency. However, with respect to the 2024 elections, I was stationed at the Electoral Commission. I was in charge of the 𝗔𝗔 strong room. So for the 𝗔𝗔 strong room, since the year began, I've been detained at the 𝗔𝗔 headquarters, and I've been filing a lot of reports from the 𝗔𝗔 headquarters. Every step of the process, right from political parties filing their nominations, through to balloting, through to nominations and all that, through to numbering and all that. I've been an active participant of the process. And I must say that on the election day, I had the opportunity to also go to the 𝗵𝗵 constituency to observe proceedings on the ground in the morning, and it was very, very, very revealing in the sense that you look at the enthusiasm with which people came out to vote as early as 5 a.m., 4 a.m. Some of them were already on ground, eager to vote. It was rather mid-morning that we saw some sort of reduced numbers, because in the morning you could see people showing interest, but in the afternoon, I think the numbers had reduced. That is where some of us had a feeling that it's possible that we're going to have low voter turnout at the end of the day. Then we moved to the 𝗔𝗔 office, where there were two layers. The first layer was a setup for press conferences, so there were periodic press conferences, and also another setup for the National Collation Centre, also known as the strong room. So for me, I was very delighted to be reporting from the National Collation Room, or the strong room, because over the period we've heard a lot of stories from the strong room, and it was fascinating that you go there and all you see is fax machines, chairs for political parties to sit on, then just a general setup. And for me, what I admired so much was the way and manner in which 𝗔𝗔 organized the National Collation Centre. It was very impressive with the periodic press briefings that they gave to us, because hitherto you'll be there waiting for the results, but if the results are delayed, nobody comes to tell you anything, and that ordinarily will add to the tensions, anxiety, and all that. So it was very revealing and very, very thoughtful of the 𝗔𝗔 to actually engage us periodically. Where we started having issues were the delays in the results trooping in from the various regional collation centers. The Electoral Commission set up 3 layers of collation. So from the polling station, it goes to the constituency collation centers, then it goes to the regional collation centers before it will be faxed to the National Collation Centre. At the National Collation Centre, when, for instance, we have 16 fax machines dedicated to each region. So usually we expect the 𝗕𝗲𝗵𝗶 region to come first, because it has only 6 constituencies. So when it comes, the 𝗔𝗔 officials will print the result that has been faxed. They share with the political parties. They peruse the results. If they are satisfied, then it goes to Madam Chair for her to certify the results. Then to be projected on the screen for us to see. So we were worried that as late as 10 a.m. Sunday morning, we had not received a single result from the Regional Collation Centre, and we're getting worried. It was interesting when the Vice President in the Sunday morning came out to concede defeat. Then it was, we those coming from the center said, then what is happening? Because it appears the political parties have been more efficient in their collation of their results. And so be it. If you look at when we went to the Supreme Court in 2012, if you look at the modality that the Supreme Court recommended, it made our electoral collation much more bureaucratic in the spirit of trust and transparency. So you may find different layers being created to ensure that there is much scrutiny, to ensure the result that is given out is credible, and also to ensure that nobody challenges the results on the face of it. So it was easy for political parties to collate with just the result from the polling stations to have maybe a sneak peek of what to expect on the day. But for the 𝗔𝗔 may have an idea, but it may not be within the law for them to say that this person has won or that person has won. The 𝗔𝗔 has to follow all the legal requirements to ensure that every pink sheet has been counted, every pink sheet has been agreed to by the parties before it can be declared. However, when the Vice President made that timely concession, we're also kind of worried that this could also mean that we're going to just make a ceremonial declaration, because sometimes it is when we don't know how the thing is going that makes the strong room more interesting. But since the concession came, the strong room was much more relaxed, just that people were just waiting for the official confirmation from the EC. But everything was relaxed. The EC anticipated that once there are natural delays, people were going to be agitated and all that. But the EC did a good job by periodically also notifying us that, yes, they have not received any results from any regional center. However, they are still working within the 72-hour period. And the 72-hour period meant that even though we had clocked 48 hours, they gave us the assurance that we were going to receive all the results. Then on Monday afternoon, we got an indication that, yes, the EC finally has gotten all the regional results, but 9 constituencies were outstanding. However, the difference is not going to change the outcome of the election. So the EC went ahead to declare. So for us, it was 3 days of insightful experience and 2 nights of stressful experience because of some of the things you have to go through to be able to soldier on throughout the night. For me, it was an insightful experience, regardless of the stress and the anxiety that came with it. For me, I think with respect to transparency, the EC did well, in the sense that every step of the way through the Let the Citizens Know initiative, we were engaged periodically. At times, we were even meeting sometimes twice a day. There were times that almost every week there was some form of engagement. I think it got more interesting when they allowed us into the IPAC meeting. That was very, very encouraging. It was also encouraging when they allowed us into their printing centers for us to have a first-hand view of how printing was done. And I think it was impressive when ballot papers had to be destroyed and they carried us along to follow the process. A lot of the processes usually were behind the scenes, and the political parties carried the narrative. However, this time around, we were at the forefront of it. So the media itself carried the narrative. So I believe it helped to reduce the tension, it helped to reduce the misinformation or otherwise. And I think it also helped for the media to be part of the process and tell the story from a neutral, quote-unquote, perspective. And I think that helped as much as possible. For me, I believe the EC's engagement with the media doesn't end with these elections. I believe it's a 4-year process. The engagement should continue. I think there is a need for us to explain our electoral processes better. So activities that do not even relate to general elections, I believe that the EC should continuously engage the people, explain to the people through the media. So the Let the Citizens Know engagement should not be that when we get to election year, before we are going to activate it. We plead with the EC to sustain the press corps that they have created and constantly engage us so that we can build that formidable structure, so that it won't be as if it's only when it gets to elections that we're going to educate the public on electoral matters.